The cafeteria went silent the moment Admiral Strickland stepped in. His uniform gleamed like polished steel, and his medals clinked softly with each step, the sound of authority itself. Every sailor stood a little straighter, every conversation died mid-sentence. Except for one man, the janitor mopping near the vending machines. His old sneakers squeaked against the floor, his gray coveralls worn and faded. He didn't salute. He just kept mopping. The Admiral stopped, amused. "At ease, gentlemen," he said, grinning. His eyes landed on the janitor. "And you, soldier, what's your rank?" The janitor looked up slowly, his tired eyes calm. "No rank, sir. Just keeping the floors clean." The Admiral chuckled. "Fair enough. Tell me, son, how many men have you killed in your service?" Laughter rippled through the hall. Everyone knew the Admiral's humor, sharp and loud, meant to keep spirits high. But the janitor didn't smile. He placed the mop back into the bucket, and for a brief second, the room felt still. Then he said quietly, 47. The laughter stopped. The Admiral blinked, caught off guard. "Excuse me?" The janitor straightened. 47 confirmed. "And 32. I couldn't count." Silence thickened like fog. Every eye in the room turned to the man who, until this moment, was invisible. The Admiral's voice softened. "You served?" The janitor nodded. 2 tours, Afghanistan. Recon Unit. 7th Marine Division. He looked down at his calloused hands. "I used to be Sergeant Daniel Reeves." Someone whispered the name, a legend. Reeves. The sniper whose unit disappeared saving a trapped convoy. The one who never came home. The Admiral swallowed hard. "You're that Reeves?" Daniel gave a faint, tired smile. "Used to be. Now I'm just a dad trying to make rent." The Admiral's throat tightened. "What happened?" Daniel's eyes glistened. "Lost my wife in a car crash while I was overseas. My boy was 6. I came home and I didn't know how to be anyone anymore. The Navy gave me honors, a medal, a folded flag, but none of that helps a little boy sleep through nightmares." He glanced at his mop. "So I clean floors. It's honest work. Quiet. My son doesn't need a hero. He needs a dad who comes home every night." A young ensign at the table wiped his eyes. The Admiral stood there, speechless. This was the kind of man the Navy built, and forgot. Daniel looked up again, his voice steady. "You asked my kill count, sir. But the only number that matters now is 1. One son I promised to raise better than the man I had to be." The Admiral nodded, his chest tight. "Sergeant Reeves," he said quietly, "you've done more for this country than most of us ever will. And for what it's worth, we're proud to have you still walking among us." Daniel gave a small, humble nod and turned back to his mop. "Thank you, sir. Floors won't clean themselves." Rain tapped gently on the windows of Millie's Diner, that old roadside place where truckers, farmers, and tired souls came to forget the world for a while. The smell of bacon and coffee lingered in the air when Jake Turner, a single dad and ex-firefighter, walked in with his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. They came here every Saturday. It was their ritual, pancakes for her, black coffee for him. The diner was the one place where the ghosts of his past stayed quiet. But this morning wasn't like the others. At a corner booth, a young woman in a worn army jacket sat quietly, her eyes down, hands shaking slightly as she stirred her coffee. She looked exhausted, not just tired but weary. Like someone who had seen too much and felt too little kindness lately. Then, the door swung open. A loud laugh filled the diner. 3 men, local troublemakers, swaggered in. Everyone in town knew the type. Loud, entitled, and looking for a target. "Hey, soldier girl," one of them jeered. "That your fancy uniform? Or just trying to look tough?" The diner fell silent. The waitress froze mid-step. The woman didn't respond, she just sipped her coffee, eyes steady but sad. Then, one of the men, a tall brute with a red cap, stepped closer and said something that made the whole place flinch. Jake didn't hear the exact words. He didn't need to. Because the next sound was a slap. The soldier's cheek reddened instantly, her coffee spilling over the counter. Lily gasped. Daddy! Jake was already moving. He crossed the diner in 3 strides, grabbed the man's wrist before he could raise it again, and twisted it behind his back. The man howled in pain. Apologize, Jake said, his voice low but firm. The bully spat. You don't know who you're messing with, old man. Jake leaned closer. Then you don't know me. Something in his tone made the man freeze. Within seconds, the group stumbled out of the diner, muttering curses. Silence settled. Jake turned to the soldier. You okay, ma'am? She nodded, blinking back tears. I've had worse. But thank you. He smiled softly. No one should have to face that alone. Lily tugged on the woman's sleeve. You're a real soldier, huh? Like the heroes Daddy used to work with?